So far, the crew has cleared every hurdle naysayers have placed in their way. Columbus would be home to one of the 10 inaugural teams. Columbus has outperformed much larger cities. The true success indicator has been from the fans. Well, it's
Hello and welcome to the club. I'm your host Mars, and this is the Upper 90 Club, a roundtable podcast where five friends discuss the Columbus Crew. This week is a little different. We only have four of us here. Ben's daughter broke her arm on a trampoline, so that's a big bummer. Yeah, thoughts and prayers for sure. So hope that she gets better soon.
Hope you feel better, Kate.
And also, there's no game this week. So we have spent last few days catching up with a couple folks from the Nordeca, both Scott Spencer, who's one of the game day directors, and also Chris LaMacchia. We just got off the phone with him. He's the director of communication for the Nordeca board. I hope we've got an update from President Bird. Any token cacas out there? Thank you. He was at the game. He was at the Crew 2 game. He had his baby with him, and the baby got his baby signed.
Yeah, and the question remains: is the baby more valuable now than it was before?
I think it was it Micheletto?
I think so.
It was awesome
on eBay. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
You cannot sell a baby on eBay. Just so.
Yeah. Well, and that's just because eBay's no longer around. It would be Facebook Marketplace, of course. Okay. So
not that we haven't tried.
Right. So with me in the club are Ben. No, hold on. Ben's not here. Of course, I'm having He's first. Fire me. I am not in the club. Mort Trainhaus. That's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Hey, tip of the hat.
Is Ben here with us?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you're right.
Yeah. For some reason, when I'm not present, I am a British guy from the 30s or something like that.
I don't even think tip of that. Is that a phrase?
No, it's a Benism.
Not.
I do.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
a Benism.
Yeah.
Hey, tip of the hat. Hey.
Yeah. Do you want to do your
Ben impression?
American bro? Yeah.
No, I don't know, but we listened to it this weekend, and my wife said, "Are they making fun of you?" And I said, "No, this is because they're not me."
It's
okay.
We're doing it so that we can make fun of Ben next week. Yeah. So, all right. I guess so. There. Yeah. As I said, there's no game this week. So what did you all do instead? Today is Sunday. We typically record. So, Hawes, what did you do last night?
Last night I was at 934 Fest, checking out some local art, and
What is
934 Gallery is a gallery on Cleveland Avenue. And they had some bands playing. Our buddy Nick Tolford and company were playing their annual show.
Yeah.
So yeah, saw a lot of familiar faces. It was a good time.
Awesome. Yeah, Nick does our intros.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so when was that?
Last Saturday.
That was last night. That was the 9th. Oh yeah, okay. He also played my wedding, which was the 7th of September. 11 years ago. Mort, what about you?
Nice.
I went to Woodstock. Well, actually, I went to Gregory, Michigan.
Okay.
So I didn't quite go to Woodstock, but Woodstock is like a runners festival.
Okay.
To support my wife, because I guess being married to me drives her crazy enough to run a 100-miler.
Oh,
and I think it's
wait.
So
she ran 100 miles.
She didn't just run it.
Yeah.
There are fast. There must be faster
run.
ways to get away from you.
Especially when she have to come around every 16 miles and say hi.
Oh, it's a circle.
So, yeah. So no. She has a 100-miler. She has a group of people she work out with, and they doing this thing. And she went up those 60-mile loops. She did them 6 times. Took her 21 hours, and she decided just to win it too. So
she won.
I mean.
Yep.
Yeah, she won.
Man, awesome.
Champion.
21 hours.
Yeah, 21 hours. So while she's doing that, I'm drinking some beer and hanging around there like in a campsite, just making sure that I set alarms so I wake up
16
every like 3 hours to make sure, do you have everything you need? Change some socks and then send her off and go back to bed.
Man.
So,
every 16 miles, not every 16 hours.
Yeah. But a big shout out. I mean,
that is awesome.
It's pretty amazing. She's a woman of steel and bunch of fun, crazy people.
No
there.
doubt.
I mean, they're all nuts.
No doubt. Is that a big community? The high milers? Like, do you see all the same people, or is it small enough, or is it too big?
They're quite small people.
Yeah. They're hungry. They're very hungry. Get them a sandwich.
These people come in all sizes, and no, it's definitely a very laid back community. Everybody's kind of cheering each other on and all that. So it's a little different than like when you do the street races. People are more like cutthroats, and here it's more of a social thing. And it's like this thing is a whole hippie fest. I mean, there was all kinds of smells in this camp, to put it that way.
Yeah, awesome. All right, what about you, Trey?
Oh, busy Saturday night. Polishing my and club heads for the annual golf outing.
Oh wait, and the three of you guys.
We got together
just
in
trying
Westerville.
to power through this. You guys golfed today, right?
We did golf today.
Yeah, we did.
So who won?
Our friend Justin Harmon won, and Haas and I tied. And Mort
I
played.
did not win. I was there.
Mort played. Okay.
I got stuck with the pink ball.
Okay. All right.
Whatever that means.
But yeah, that is what I did on Saturday night.
Okay.
So
all right, nice.
No, that was a good time. Good time.
All right. Well, I guess let's jump into it here. I think first we're gonna do Chris LaMacchia. We talked to him last December. He is the director of communications for the Nordeca board. Good to catch up with him and hear what's going on there at Nordeca. So let's jump into that now, and then we'll circle back afterward.
This episode of the Upper 90 Club is brought to you, as always, by Supporter Supply Company. Hi, friends, this is your good pal Morgan Hughes, here to talk to you about a serious issue facing 96% of all crew supporters in Columbus. Why, not enough free shipping, of course. For a limited time now, through the eventual heat death of the universe, Upper 90 Club listeners can use the promo code Upper90Boys. That's boys with a Z on the end of it, at checkout for free delivery on absolutely any order over $10. But Morgan, what if I order $10 worth of stickers, or those goddamned buttons, or some other combination of small items that make you want to kill yourself? Will the free shipping still apply then, even as you curse our family, while you package up our little tiny annoying ass order for us? Of course it will. That's just how much we here at Supporter Supply value our friends at the Upper 90 Club. So head on over to supportersupply.co and use the promo code Upper90Boys. That's boys with a Z at checkout for free shipping on all your orders over $10. And don't forget to tell them that your friends at the Upper 90 Club sent ya.
All right, Chris, welcome back to the club. This is our second Nordeca check-in. I don't know that we ever really workshopped that title. It still feels a little clunky.
But very on brand.
Is it? So we were talking about this. I don't remember if we were on or off recording. I think it was last week. Can you tell us, is there a proper pronunciation of Nordeca, like the commonly accepted when you're in the boardroom? How is Nordeca referred?
Pronunciations brought to you by the idiots of Upper 90 Club.
Yes. That one's touchy.
Careful.
That one's got some history with it. If you are a member of the Nordeca or an elected board member of the Nordeca, the correct pronunciation is Nordeca. If you are a member of the Columbus media or some other talking head around the Central Ohio region, it's Nordec.
Okay.
So
I'll stick with Nordec then.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Well, anyway, yeah. Welcome back to the club, Chris.
Thank you.
So I went back and looked. The last time we talked was like right before Christmas last year, off season. I think we had definitely fired Caleb Porter. I don't remember what the timeline was on Nancy, but I
don't think we
needless
had
to
him yet.
say, we had big
I don't think we had
questions
him yet.
about what this season was to hold, and so the fan experience was, we were all kind of just waiting to see what this season's going to be like. So, I guess high level, what what are some highlights from your perspective in the Nordeca board, and what you all have been working on recently?
Yeah. So this year has been a good, successful year from the board's perspective. We've been able to do a lot of cool stuff as far as TIFO and getting new folks involved. A lot of new faces this year, both at a leadership level, but then just as far as people that come out to paint TIFO, or people that come out and are involved in board meetings, or the tailgate. A lot of new faces, and then let's all not forget that the Cappy Brava has just taken off and is soaring at an amazing level. MLS Next Pro's first recognized supporter group. They are the first MLS Next Pro supporter group to be admitted to the ISC, the Independent Supporter Council. It's and I'm not trying to take credit for those things the Cappy Brava has done, but we've been influential, helped them get off the ground. It's so as a Columbus soccer supporter, that's been important. Then we've got all the great TIFO that we did. We've got the membership numbers are still growing. Excitement for soccer in Columbus is an all-time high. We're taking advantage of that. I think that by all reasonable accounts or reasonable metrics, it has been so far a successful year for us. It hasn't been perfect. There have been some roadblocks and some trademark Nordeca dramas throughout the course of the year, but we've weathered those, and we're still here and we're still trucking.
Great. So, and what, just for folks who may not have heard our first discussion, or folks who aren't familiar with the board, what are just some of the key functions that the board plays for the crew, for crew 2, et cetera? What are the keystone items that are on your and the board's purview?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let me first clarify. My name is Chris LaMacchia. I'm the communications director for Nordeca. I'm not the president of the Nordeca, as some people think that I am, just because they see my face or hear my words everywhere. The Nordeca board. The Nordeca is an independent supporter group. We are not affiliated with the crew or the front office in any way other than a friendly and amenable working relationship. The most visible way that people see the Nordeca is when they buy Nordeca tickets from Nordeca.com. They buy tickets in a section from the supporter group. Then, we also, the second most visible way that the majority of crew fans see us is through TIFO. Both large scale TIFO, think of the Hell is Real or the Pride TIFOs, those sorts of things, the giant 60 by 50 banners, or, we had a couple of 90 footers this year. Or even the rail banners, all of those queen size bed sheets that are hanging up along the north end of the stadium. All of those are all of those except one are hand painted by fans who had an idea and said, "Hey, can I make this happen?" And we said, "Yeah, sure, absolutely." And the only reason they have to ask is because there are like 3 rules: don't cuss, don't be mean, and don't be hateful. Which those last 2 sound kind of similar, but if you think about it, they're pretty freaking different, right? Yeah. And so, we will approve damn near anything. But people, come up with ideas and bring them to us. My favorite is that I'm the least artistic person in the whole world. And so a buddy of mine is going to make a rail banner for me that is based on a Wilfried Nancy quote, because of the article when he was first hired, where he said that one of his favorite things is he reminds everybody to remember why you started. So we're going to hang a rail banner, hopefully in the next few weeks, that says, just in big black letters, remember why you started, which is great soccer lesson, but also, wonderful life advice. And all it takes in order to hang a rail banner, which is a Queen King full twin and a half, twin XL, college twin, if you want to, if you are so inclined, is the gumption to create such a thing and then reach out to the Nordeca and make sure that it's okay, that you aren't using any 4 or 5 letter curse words. So there's that.
All right. So no Trey, no toddler size. No. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Got it.
Then, so because we're an independent supporters group, we have a lot of freedom as far as what we can do and what we can't do in the stadium. The front office, the crew front office, the franchise, as I call them, are wonderful partners. Whether we're working with KB on, the high level strategy things and planning overall, or working with Ty on the day-to-day nuts and bolts of how do we get this done. They're great partners, and they are pretty much just as flexible as with us as we are with the fan base. As long as it doesn't break any explicitly stated rules in the MLS fan code of conduct, they're basically fine with it.
Yeah.
And if they aren't fine with it, by God, I'm going to ask, we, the board, are going to ask why. We're going to push back, and we're going to make sure that they have a good answer, because we are not their employees. We are not here to do their bidding. We are here to support the Columbus soccer community and the Columbus community at large. I don't know. Other ways that people see us is, out in the community doing, fundraisers and community action things. We have a lot of community involvement on a charitable front. We donate so many tickets. We've donated fewer tickets, which is kind of double-edged sword.
Like who would be a typical recipient of a donated ticket?
So we donate a lot of tickets to Chris, the Community Resource Center, for new Americans and American residents. We donate a lot of tickets to Columbus City Schools. We donate a lot of tickets to just general youth soccer teams. That's a double-edged sword. You'll excuse me, I'm in a hurry because I'm excited. Because we generally donate the leftover tickets that we have, and when the team is winning and doing good, we don't have a lot of leftovers, but we always set them back.
Yep.
And it's really funny. In the beginning of the year, or when Caleb Porter is coach, we have a lot of tickets to donate. And then as the things pick up and keep going, we have to make sure that we're more deliberate about setting tickets back to donate. But we always make sure that we donate a portion of our allotment to various resources.
I have a question on that.
What
real
about?
Quick. Sorry, jumping in.
Go ahead, Oz.
Are individuals able to contribute to that donation? There have been a few times where a friend of mine offers me some tickets that are better than mine. Yeah. And I have a couple extras and it's last minute and I can't find a person to give them to. Is that something that happens?
Yeah, absolutely. So we always encourage our members or anyone who asks to donate any unused tickets, and I've done this myself, to donate those tickets to Chris, the community resource, and I can never remember the IS, but it's for new Americans, immigrants, people who are fresh to Columbus. And it's really easy to do that. There is an email address that you transfer those tickets through. And I can't recall it off the top of my head right now, but I will post it online somewhere in the next couple of days.
Yeah, we'll plug it in here at the outro or something.
And you transfer your unused tickets to that email address, and it just goes to the Chris Ticketmaster crew account, and they distribute them to their folks as needed. Cool. Individuals can always donate, and if you were to find yourself with 10 or 15 unused tickets for a particular game and you have no idea what to do with all of those, let us know. We'll help you get rid of them. There are always youth soccer teams. We have a whole lot of members who are always asking for ticket donations.
Cool. What about Nor on Tour? What's that schedule been like this year? And I think there was one for this recent Montreal trip too. So why don't you go high level and then tell us about the last one?
Yeah, Nor on Tour this year has been kind of in a state of flux. We've been trying to find a sweet spot between being a full-blown travel agency and just providing a link to say, hey, if you want to go to this game, here's the link to buy tickets to this game. So for a few games, obviously Cincinnati, which that's barely a Nor on Tour. That's just like a field trip, right, at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But look at Nashville. Charlotte was a great example of a successful Nor on Tour where we acted as a travel agency and said, hey, here's a bus package or a hotel or whatever you need. And a game ticket. Go ahead and knock all that out through our link with the partnerships we've created. And that's not Nashville and Charlotte are both going to be, I think, and no offense to anybody who happens to be listening, more popular than Chicago in the next 3 to 5 years. And that's just because Chicago as an MLS destination is kind of going down the tubes.
Yeah.
But
the stadium here, I'm in Chicago, is it's tough, man. Parking sucks. You have to like drive through Chicago to get to the parking that sucks. Soldier Field seats, 1 to 2 million people, and then they they draw like 12,000 fans, and it just looks like a desolate wasteland. And the game this year was great. The game last year was great, but from a fan experience standpoint, there's a lot left to be desired. And Nashville is such like an it city. I used to live there, and the games look great down there. Charlotte, I know less about, but I'm not surprised to hear you say that at all.
Yeah, those are all 6-hour drives, right? So if you've got Chicago, Nash Vegas, or Charlotte, all 6 hours away, and you've got one trip to make, sorry, Chicago, I've been to you. Let me go to Nash Vegas for a weekend. Then there are the other side of the coin is where we just provide the ticket link to the away match and say, here's the ticket link for the away supporter section, knock yourself out, which is what I did with Montreal this past weekend. I bought tickets in the away supporter section, or I should say a ticket in the away supporter section. I made that 10-hour trek to Montreal, which, by the way, is an absolutely wonderful drive. Whether you decide to go up through Toronto and make that right turn, or go up through Buffalo and then make the left turn up into Canada, the drive to Montreal is spectacular. The city of Montreal is an absolute joy. It was my first time there. I'm absolutely going to go back as often as I can. And Montreal Stadium it felt like a second. Like if Historic Crew Stadium had a vacation home equivalent, it's Montreal's. It's an erector set stadium that's set on the side of a hill with a gorgeous backdrop, right? So yeah, their fans are great. There's more poutine in that stadium that I could trick a stick at. I was able to get smoked meats and local reds from the stand underneath the supporter section. The entire experience from soup to nuts was freaking awesome.
Yeah,
I highly recommend it.
Any time that the locals have a French accent, I think takes it to the next level. You feel you're far. I've visited Montreal before. You feel like you're farther than 10-hour drive from Columbus.
You really do, absolutely. And the best part is that, and Mars, when you were there, you didn't have the wonderful experience of just having stolen their coach and one of their best defenders.
Right.
So I'm standing there like at halftime eating my poutine and drinking my local beer, and like 6 people came up and were like, "Hey, take care of our coach." And I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely, sure, yeah." Like everybody was very gracious that we had just stolen like their.
Yeah, what's the French phrase for "don't mow my lawn"?
Right. I was expecting a whole lot more mon Dieu than I got, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, that was a good one to go to. All things considered. And then we have this break this week. I do want to ask you about Orlando. We did our predictions last week. What do you think about Orlando? What do you think is going to happen?
I got to be honest. I forgot the Orlando game was happening until about 45 minutes ago. So in those 45 minutes, I've been trying to figure out how to answer this question both accurately and funny. I think that we are going to win going away 3-1.
Okay.
I think that Orlando is going to show up and outplay us, but we are going to outwork them. We're going to gut out a nasty 3-1 victory, probably a stoppage time security goal. Don't ask me who it's from. The best thing about playing in Orlando away is leaving Orlando.
Yep. Yeah, it's so. It's like it's in the 90s through.
Oh my god.
September, October. I just can't imagine going.
I went to that game last year, and that game was and that was the game where we just needed a tie to make the playoffs.
Oh, yeah,
that Caleb Porter couldn't even get a tie out of it.
Oh, yeah,
that
was tough.
No, that was terrible. And Orlando Stadium again is a gorgeous little facility. They've got a spectacular drum line that plays over there, and they run cadences and they've got like 5 or 6 fans that try to get some chants going, but they can't. They've got a lot of fans that are really engaged in eating ice cream and drinking beers, and their team wears pretty purple shirts. They just
they fill the stadium, right? And were they a USL club before they were promoted?
Yeah,
I feel like they had some kind of.
Was it the Iron Lion firm that was there?
Yeah.
Sounds
so
right.
I just feel like they were kind of established when they hit the league. And I don't remember seeing a bunch of empty seats when we watch them in the same way like we were talking about the Houston game was just embarrassing. I mean,
that was rough.
It looked so. I mean, that was a Wednesday game, so maybe it's not apples to apples. But
that facility that Houston has, downtown in America's third largest city, in a Hispanic heavy population, you would think that front office would figure out how to drum up some excitement for a soccer team that has, by the way, Hector Herrera.
Team, yeah,
right.
You may or may not have heard of him, right?
Yeah.
If there was ever a team that needed to market themselves on the back of one player, it's the Houston freaking Dynamo.
Yeah. Well, so we'll see. We'll see. I like the 3-1.
I also predicted 3-1.
You said 3-1.
Great minds, Hawes. Great minds.
Yeah. Okay. So let's jump back to Nordeca. Oh, sure.
You want to talk about Nora Tour?
Yeah.
So as a special bit of I don't know, tea, we're gonna sip some Lipton for your listeners.
Yeah.
There are plans in the works for a bus trip to Atlanta, which is coming up. It's going to be extremely affordable. Bus, ticket, hotel. It's going to be a true old school Nordeca smash and grab. We're going to leave at 6 a.m. Saturday. We're going to get back at like 9 a.m. Sunday. We're going to steal 3 points from those Southerners. And we're going to do our best General Sherman,
burn the city.
6-1.
We're going to burn the city. And those details are going to come out this Friday, which is that's the 17th or something, if not sooner. The only reason we're waiting is because there may be some special sauce coming from the front office in the form of some sort of assistance.
Nice.
But at the very least, Nordeca has our plans that we're going to drop. And if the front office says, yeah, we're going to help you all out, that makes it better for everybody. If the front office says, hey, we tried, we don't have anything for you, then we still have our plans we're going to run with. And that's going to be cool.
Will Kanye be there? Will Kanye be there?
I was just going to say, whether Kanye is there or not, Atlanta is a spectacular trip to make, if only because of the peach bourbon slushie they sell at Mercedes-Benz Arena.
Has Nor on Tour made it down there before?
There has never been an organized bus trip to Atlanta. I've been to Atlanta twice, and each time there have been like 50 or 60 crew fans who just kind of all traveled on their own. Atlanta is a lot like Portland, where you just wind up with a lot of randos that showed up. We're all in yellow shirts at the same time. Like, hey, what the hell are you doing here? Or how did you get here? Or don't I live next to you?
Right. Yeah. How did we not know about this?
Right, exactly.
How did we not know?
You didn't know you were coming here.
Yeah.
There's a former front office employee that lives down there and does stuff with Generation Adidas as well. He's really cool.
Oh yeah.
Jeremy Perkins.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was.
I haven't heard that name in a while.
So,
anything else? Nor on tours?
No. So Atlanta, we're gonna at least provide links to all of the remainder of those games. Atlanta will be the last organized trip that we have for the year, unless there's a playoff game in Cincinnati or the stars align, and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And so jumping back to the Nordeca organization and the board you're on, you kind of gave a high level update. What's been going on recently? Was there a meeting last week?
Yeah,
that I saw.
Yeah.
So what came out of that, and what updates do you have?
Right. So last week's meeting was. Well, okay, let me start at the beginning for the folks that don't know. Every month, the Nordeca board is required through our bylaws to hold a public meeting. So the first Thursday of every month from 6 to 7 p.m., we have a public meeting, and then we close it at 7 and or whenever the public meeting is done, and have our regularly scheduled monthly board meeting. This most recent board meeting, the public session, was pretty well attended. And this year's theme for all of the public meetings has been the tailgate and how to improve the tailgate, people wanting to get involved with the tailgate, people with ideas about how to make tailgate better. It's really funny how it used to be that everybody wanted to show up and talk about TIFO. How do I make art? How do I get involved in TIFO? How do I be a part of that thing? This year it has become the tailgate, which is great because the tailgate is what needs the most love this year. There were a lot of struggles with logistics going into the year, and we were able to partner with the crew and work something out. Front office did a lot of heavy lifting for us. I'm not going to lie. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that the front office did good shit with the fans, but the front office did a lot of really good shit for the fans as far as the tailgate is concerned this year. And so we're just working on planning to make it bigger, how to improve it. We're partnering with the FO to make it bigger and better next year. And we get a lot of people that show up and have questions or concerns or just want to be involved in that. How do I show up and cook food? I want to host my own little thing. What do I have to do? You'd be amazed at the amount of questions. We had a person who showed up, not this most recent monthly meeting, but before, and asked if they could do face painting. We're like, absolutely. Come on down. Face painting for the kids or whoever wants to face painted. Then, we call it the executive session, but that really does make it sound a whole lot more important than it actually is. It's where we kick all the peanut gallery out and we talk amongst ourselves and yell at each other. And that this past week was a lot of NOR on tour planning. Our travel director, Bud, came forward with his plans for what he had partnered for Atlanta. We've got some things going on with drums and general atmosphere that we're working on. So it really is, the second half of that meeting is boring. And I'm not saying that because I don't want to tell you all what happened. I'm saying it because it's a lot of bureaucratic, boring malarkey. Everybody takes 3. It's like a high school civics class. You take 3 pages of notes. You remember those notes until the exam, and then you forget that you took them. Right? Yeah. And so, we're doing a lot of planning for 2024 at this point. There's a lot of cool, interesting things that are going to happen next year. We are on kind of an autopilot mode for the remainder of 2023. That's the cool thing about the Nordeca is that once everybody gets into the mid-season form, there is no late season slump. We peak early and we stay there, and it allows us in leadership to focus on what to do next and how to make everything better. So we're in a good place. Yeah.
So what about you specifically, your term? How long have you been in your role, and what are your plans going forward?
So per the bylaws, every elected wink, wink, nudge, nudge, per the current bylaws, all of the elected members are elected to 1-year terms and can serve no more than 3 terms in any given position. I am currently in my 2nd term as the comms director. I could, if I wanted to, run for a 3rd term as the comms director, and then we'll go from there. At this point, I'm probably going to stand for another term. But as any elected official does, and especially crew fans, we all once a month spend about 6 hours going, screw this shit. I'm never doing this again. I hate all these people. I don't understand why I'm even doing this in the first place. Right? Whether it's because the team lost a game, whether it's because somebody said something mean on Facebook, or because somebody tagged me in an Instagram post that I wasn't fully aware of. We all have that moment once a month. But to be completely honest, I love what I do. I love the good work that we put in. It is, I'm not going to lie to anybody who's listening, being a member of the Nordeca board or even in Nordeca leadership is a load of work. It takes an entire army to make that Saturday atmosphere happen, and there are only 13 of us, and we do a lot of work. But by God, at 7:39 every freaking Saturday home game, it is absolutely freaking worth it. Whether there's a large scale TIFO or Coach Nancy is busting through a cheesy ass brick wall, or Mark Titus is tweeting about how badass the crew game was this week, everything makes it worth it by Saturday night. And so I encourage anybody out there who thinks they can either improve on what we're currently doing or assist with what we're currently doing, or has ever talked about the Nordeca, to stand up and
make it better. Throw your hat in the ring and make it better.
That's exactly how I got where I am. I talked about the board for a year and a half on Twitter, and one of my good friends called me out and said, there are elections every year. And I went, all right, well, I guess I should probably throw my hat in that ring.
So when is that? When does that happen?
So without giving too much away, Nordecca elections. Nordections? Did I just coin a new term?
I don't know.
Nordecca elections
you're dabbling in dangerous territory.
I'm going to skip over that like it never happened. Nordecca board elections are going to be earlier in 2023 than they have historically been. As I alluded to earlier, there are some revisions of the bylaws that are going to be stood up and put forward for a vote. And if those revisions pass, then things are going to happen a bit sooner than they have in order to make it more of a seamless transition between boards. And just make the whole experience better. So let's pretend for a moment that nothing changes. Then Nordecca elections are historically in January. If the proposed bylaw changes do go through and are voted upon by the members, then Nordecca elections will probably be in early December.
Okay.
There are 9 board members. Each board member has at least one deputy and then however many quote unquote staff members they want. All of that is available and readily accessible for information purposes on Nordecca.com. Click on the board. You can go see my smiling face and the smiling faces of all of my fellow board members, including Katie Shear, who is the chairperson of the board. She is the president of the Nordecca. If anybody has any complaints, you can direct them to her email address or her Twitter or her Instagram or her Facebook.
Yeah.
But Katie's in a great position because she's the first female executive leader of the Nordecca. We've had other people who have been other females who have been in some leadership position somewhere, but she's the first elected executive leader of our supporters group.
Great. Well, so before we let you go here, I want to just do a couple speed round questions with you. Sounds like you probably go to most, if not all, the home games, right? And then some of the away games. What was your favorite game this season and why?
Gonna be Hell is Real. Gonna be Hell is Real because that atmosphere is absolutely like every year. I don't think that it can get any bigger, and it absolutely gets bigger and better. And honestly, I don't consider Cincinnati a rival. The Cruise rivals are Chicago, DC, and sometimes Toronto, right? Cincinnati is an annoying yet convenient MLS team to beat up on, and it's always nice to beat up on them. But that I hate to call it a rivalry. That what's one step below rivalry, guys? Y'all are the wordsmiths. That matchup is turning into something special.
So it's the Derby, right? I mean, it's like
the Derby, right.
You know, it's. I think that we have stronger rivalries. You omitted Austin, and I don't know. Have we played Austin?
Oh wow, another team I completely forgot existed until you mentioned them. So, how are they doing this year? How is Tony Aces doing down there this season?
So I would just say,
they're real happy with him.
Like when I feel, you mentioned being mean and being hateful. And trying to avoid that. Those are things I cannot avoid when I think about Austin specifically. The other rivalries, certainly there's a lot of history there. The Cincinnati game is just a fun for me.
Yeah.
I mean, others could. It's like it's fun competition, right? Mm-hmm. Bragging rights are important, but that's my stance. So I agree with you. And then my other question for you is. Favorite TIFO? You're involved in all the development.
No. Okay, so real quick, 2 things. First of all, I'm going to jump back to Austin. I am really, really looking forward to going to Austin. I'm going to try to make that an away trip next year.
Yeah.
For 2 reasons. 1, barbecue, and 2, to wear a crew jersey in that stadium.
Okay.
Yeah. No. If I want queso, I'm going to Santa Fe or like Albuquerque. I'm going to New Mexico. Austin, no, it's barbecue, and I want to wear a yellow shirt in that stadium.
Yeah.
Okay. So then about TIFO. I am the comms director, and in my role as comms director, it is my job to help drum up interest in and get people out to help with the creation of the TIFOs. I am, as I said earlier, the least creative and least artistic person you have ever met in your entire life. I have contributed to TIFO Sweat going on now for 10 years in the form of dropping off cases of water, helping spread the word through retweets or nowadays actual tweets. I have never painted a stroke. I've never picked up a brush. I think that they are all amazing. They all are, whether it is a 3 foot by 4 foot 2-stick or a 90 by 60 foot banner that hangs from the roof. I think they're all amazing and fantastic pieces of art that I could never in a million years recreate. And my involvement would absolutely make worse.
Okay. All right. Nice political answer. The Cucho one at Hell is Real was pretty sweet. Wait,
hold on. So speaking of, let me give a shout out real quick to Brandon Starkey. Brandon Starkey is our creative director. Brandon Starkey had that Cucho tifo for Hell is Real was Lucas. Until about 6 days ahead of time, that was Lucas. And then Lucas got traded, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
We found out about and when I say we, I mean the board. We found out about 20 minutes before the general public did that Lucas got traded on the day of a League's Cup match, right?
Yeah.
And like that tifo was all but done. And Brandon found out as he's standing in the parking lot, like with a beer in his hand, like enjoying life, that tifo needed to be updated. And so our creative team, Brandon and everybody that works with and that he employs, they all did amazing work to make that Cucho tifo for Hell is Real happen, because that was supposed to be Lucas.
Yeah.
And then the Wizard of Westerville said, hold up, y'all, we got a different plan.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming back. Let's try and do this more than what we're at, like once every 9 months now. Let's try and let's touch base, toward the end of the playoffs after we've made a couple awesome road trips on tour. Something like that. But regardless, appreciate you making time. Anyone who wants more information on anything that we've talked about, go to nordecca.com. Yeah,
correct. Nordecca.com. Hit up Nordecca on all the socials. You can find me on Twitter, or my Insta's private these days. So find me personally on Twitter, whatever. We're easy to find if your Google box works.
Awesome. Okay. Well, again, appreciate you, and hope to talk soon.
Yeah, thanks very much, y'all. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris.
Sorry, I'm here for business. Discordecca, it's Discordecca, it's Discordecca, it's Discord Echo.
Discord.gg/crew96.
That's discord.gg/crew96. Join today.
And we are back. I am here solo with the one, the only, Scott Spencer. Scott, how are we doing?
Howdy. I am well, nice and rested up and ready to go watch the Cappies whoop some New York City butt.
Oh yeah. Our buddy Bird's going to be there, but unfortunately none of us can go because life is terrible. But yeah, I'm rolling solo. I think Mort may be popping in. He said he's in Montana. I can't pin that guy down, so he might just pop in. Just ignore him if he does. Same thing with Tracy. I think Trey's still at work, and he's like, I might try to pop in. And I was like, it's fine. But anyways, well, let's get going. So I wanted to meet with you. I've been trying to dig and find who the Cappy Master is, or a Capo Master. Capo Cappies? Anyways. And I kept getting, I talked to Ashley, I talked to Ryan, and everyone's like, yeah, you got to talk to Scott. You got to talk to Scott. So finally pinned him down, grabbed him away from Honda, forced him at gunpoint to talk to us. So let's start there. Yeah, we want to plug into your socials, where to find you, like kind of what's going on.
So I don't really have anything outside of my Facebook page. We have the Nordecca on Twitter and Instagram. And there's also an email address, matchday@nordecca.com.
Awesome. So I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. So you're the match day experience director for the Nordecca, right?
That is me.
Okay. What does that entail? Because I don't see Capo anywhere in that.
That is
secret.
That's a piece. That's a piece of it. So 9:30 in the morning, every Saturday morning for a match day.
Early.
It is very early. You will find me and my team of volunteers. And if you want to come at 9:30 at the Nordecca gate entrance and help us hang all the rail banners, set up the drums, and get the capo stands ready to go.
Oh, you do all that?
I'd love to have you. Yeah. Every match day, all those rail banners and stuff that you see hanging up every game. Me and my team of people, we do it. But
dude, those are awesome.
Make light work. Oh, they are so great. It's honestly, that's probably one of my favorite parts of my job is doing that, because you're in there before the game starts. It's quiet. There's nobody there. It's the calm before the storm. And we have so many talented artists here in Columbus that give us such cool stuff. It's really neat to see.
I love it. So do you work with Tifo Sweat and them to kind of get that stuff set up too as well? Or are they
if there is a Tifo branch that day, they come in and we help them and they help us. But I do also go, that's how I even got started with all of this in the Nordeca in general, is I just kind of showed up and started helping paint with Tifo, and it all just kind of steamrolled into where I am now. So Tifo's a great time. A lot of wonderful people. That's where all my friends were made. So it's cool.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, speaking of, we kind of talked a little bit off air before we got here, but so you moved relatively recently to Columbus, right?
So I moved at the end of 2017, shortly after the season ended. And I've always wanted to live in a bigger city with a professional sports team and be a season ticket holder. And I was like, 2018, that's my year. I'm a crew guy now. And then I show up to a game and everyone's like, we're losing this team. And I'm like, no. So
you're like, the Clippers, baseball.
I love going to those games too, but it was heart-wrenching. And then I just kind of got swallowed up in the Save the Crew movement. And it kind of galvanized me into the love that I have for the team today.
Yeah. I mean, that whole movement was absolutely insane. And I think the people that have like come on because of that, like you are just, you guys get it. Like it's so all encompassing. Like it's, it had the opposite effect of what they wanted it to have, which was, we're going to take the team, everybody kind of dissipates, but it seems like it rallied everybody and made everybody like more intense. And that's why we're on our 10th or 9th straight, shutout or like sold out game and stuff.
11th.
Like it's just, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. All right. So you moved 2017, but you've been in Ohio before that.
Oh yeah.
And you came at one of the worst times. Yeah. Were you a soccer fan before this?
So I didn't really start getting into soccer until the World Cup where Germany won. I think that was like 2014.
Yeah.
I had the chess match inside of the game explained to me, and I was like, oh, well, this is actually really cool. And a guy from my work, me and him would go out to pubs early in the morning and watch it. And he got into Ohio State football, which is the year that we won the national championship. And he had no one to talk soccer with. And I was like, all right, who's your soccer team? That's my soccer team. So keep it between me and you, but I'm a Manchester United fan as well.
Well, that's awesome. I think it's crazy because that's how both Mars and Haas on our podcast got hooked into soccer, was the World Cup, which seems like foreign to me, especially for someone who lives in a city with a professional team. It's just like, I liked it because of the World Cup. And it's like, well, we always had like a professional team, but okay, cool. But especially when you have to wake up early to watch games, it's hard. But you wake up early anyway to like set up all the stuff.
I naturally wake up at 7 a.m. No help. So
not me. If you don't wake me up, I'm certifiably dead. They just go, he's gone. He's gone. Bury him. So you are affiliated with the Nordic, right? And we're going to actually talk to Chris about this before. We haven't actually talked to, because we have LaMacchia coming on
good dude.
Sunday to kind of catch back up. But we're going to kind of do this whole thing where, is it Nordec or Nordeca?
Pronunciations brought to you by the idiots of Upper 90 Club.
It is technically Nordeca.
Okay.
But Nordeca is like, it's fine. It's not a big deal. As long as you're there, as long as you're not saying like Noardiki or something, it's Nordeca, it's cool.
I mean, we'll mess it up for sure.
I'm not German, so I'm not going to sit here and be pretentious about how to say it. But I know Chris's position is elected. Are you elected? I am elected.
You are elected. That is bonkers to me. So you have to like run against people?
Yeah, the thing is with our elections is like you got to put in your name to run. And this last election, I was unopposed. So, yeah, I didn't have to run against anybody. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, I want to do that. I want to be part of it. And like, you have to wake up at 9:30 and be there. And they're like, yeah, we're not doing that.
I forgot to mention, I email out all the tickets and parking passes for the Nordeca. Like we get 400 tickets. Me and I have a counterpart named Courtney Sullivan, and we both are match day. And me and her split it up, and we each email out 200 tickets and 20 parking passes for every game at home.
Wow, crazy. So do you get 400 like free tickets, or is it?
Oh no. Yeah, we the Nordeca has an account, kind of like a season ticket holder account, and we get 400 tickets every game.
All right, so I want to talk capos. I'm like kind of obsessed with this whole thing. All right, so you also are down there with the bullhorn, getting that stuff going, right?
Very much so, yeah.
I really like chanting in soccer. I follow the EPL. We talked, like, you're a United fan. Like it's over there. In fact, it goes the entire game sometimes, depending on your team. If you're Arsenal, there's no one chants because they're terrible. But like it's a healthy part of the soccer culture everywhere else in the world, and I love that we do it here. And I don't believe they have capos over there, right? Like as much.
So I know that Germany does it. Germany has capos. Not in England, but there are. I believe Italy also has it.
Okay, I know that I've seen the German ones just because of Borussia Dortmund. If you can, I mean, that's like the quintessential. That's kind of the bar they set that everyone kind of wants to be a part of. It also helps that I know it kind of helps that we're in the same colors. I'm like, kind of love that. So, so you kind of get the chance going. Do you have this stuff mapped out prior to the game? And then because I ask you, are you like the main guy? And you're like. And you said very much that you work as a team. It's not like a one-man team. You just kind of help steer the ship, which I think is awesome because, like,
lead singer.
Yeah, it's kind of an instrumental band, except just singing. Nailed it. So you're the one that kind of gets things started. So do you have stuff mapped out prior to the game, or is it spur of the moment?
A little bit of both. So we start out every game with the same 3 chants. It's just kind of it's a tradition. And honestly, it flows so well and it sounds great. And my favorite moment every game is first half, going from "We Love Ya" into "Yo Say Lavoy." And then the drummers first hit that boom, 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 boom. And the whole place is just sitting there ready for it. And everyone screams out, "Yo Say Lavoy." And it just gave me goosebumps talking about it. That is, I think, maybe the coolest moment. And just I've been to quite a few other stadiums, and no other supporters group really has like that kind of a moment. And it's just it's really wonderful.
Especially with Wiseman. I actually know exactly what you're talking about. I know it always happens at the beginning of the game. I know it's always like but I'm also one of the people that sing along. I want to pause there because I do want to go to some of the specific chants, but I want to talk about the Yo Say Lavoy. Can you? Because I'll be sitting there and you guys might come out with a new one or something like that where I've heard people like shout but don't know exactly what they're saying or like where it comes from or what they're trying to be doing. And part of what I wanted to do and what I wanted to ask you is moving forward to kind of do a segment maybe once a month where we just kind of like say like, hey, we've got this new one in the works. Here's what we want you to do to kind of help guide people. So when they hear it, they're not like, what are they saying? Because the Yo Say Lavoy, literally, I've heard every rendition of that from people that don't know. Like hammered dads out there are like, I sabo do da da. And I was like, that ain't right. That's not right. Like
my favorite is Taco Bell is now serving breakfast.
I love that one.
Yeah.
So what do you? Let's just pretend. I'm running by the skin of my teeth here. So what do you actually say there?
Yo say Lavoy. Lavoy a Columbus. If I'm going to go, I will go to Columbus. Is how I've understood. My Spanish isn't quite the best. Maybe there's other people that are better at it.
Yeah, I got to get La Turbina in here. And I always get made fun of because I'm past 1 year in Duolingo for Spanish, and I keep messing stuff up, and everyone's like, "Don't you do that every day?" I'm like,
"Ay de mi."
See. Yeah. Hi, Dios mío. That's like that. Yo se le voy a Columbus. Okay, that's what I've been saying. So now I don't feel like an idiot.
You can go to the Nordeca website and click on chants, and we have all the lyrics right there for everything.
So on that, how do you come up with new chants? Because a lot of them are player specific, and players come and go. So you just substitute different names because Joshy had some that we really liked, and once he got let go, I was like, oh man, can you just subs Cucho in?
Yeah, that's what we've been doing. The Hey Jossie is the most over chant we've ever had. And when Jossie first left and we tried to do it with Cucho, there's a lot of people that just kind of no. But everyone's kind of warmed up and like, okay, this is pretty good. Honestly,
Cucho's a sweetheart.
The legacy chants are the ones that we have on cards. I wasn't here for the birth of those, so I don't know how they came about. But there's, so many things that just kind of like, it'll just kind of, something will happen in a game and there'll be like a group of people off on the side that start doing something. And, I'll kind of look over and cue in and see what they're doing. And then I'll just try to spread it. And if it's easy enough, cool enough, and fun enough, it just catches like wildfire.
Well, thanks again for coming on. Again, let's see. How can the people out there like help you? Like, cause you said that, you work for the Nordeca, but you also work in a community of people who are volunteers. Like how can they reach out to you?
Sure. Everything's volunteer, and I appreciate everyone that gives their time and their passion for everything that we all do. You ever feel like, showing up and helping hang banners and just kind of kicking it in the stadium? 9:30 a.m. every Saturday there's a match. Meet at the Nordeca entrance. You can come in and do that. Go to the nordeca.com website, and you'll find all of you'll find me, communications, anybody that you want to reach out to. We all have individual like working emails, and we all do check those. So
that goes straight to your phone, and you totally will respond.
They go straight to my phone, and I will respond. For the most part, so some things I just kind of leave alone, but
last piece of news before I get out of here. You supposedly were already on this podcast and we didn't even know it.
Yes.
Yeah. You tell me about that. Cause you told me about that. I was like, no way that was you.
So 90s night, I was the guy walking around in Jinko jeans.
That's so tight.
And if anybody's thinking about doing it and buying some Jinko jeans, get the shorts. Let me tell you,
the shorts are basically jeans.
Yeah, the jeans weigh like 50 pounds, and it's fun to walk in for a little bit. But they just fold underneath your shoes. They get very heavy, and
that's what makes them cool.
Yeah, I'll never admit this again, but Morgan Hughes was right. I'll never say those words ever again. But
bleep it out.
Yeah, thank you. But my grundle turned into a swamp. It was horrible. Don't do it.
100%.
Don't do it.
Oh yeah, it's an absolute like greenhouse down there.
Yes.
Those jeans are like absolutely insane.
It was rough.
Well, yeah. I got to dig up that picture because I think Trey went and like took a picture of you, and he's like, he sent it to our group text like, this dude gets it. And I was like, that dude does get it.
And
he absolutely gets it.
I had a kit on that a guy from my work bought when him and his wife were living here in Columbus, when he went to a game at the Shoe before historic Crew Stadium ever existed. So I figured that's about as 90s as it gets for Crew stuff. So,
100%. Yeah, I went to the first game and I still have the ticket, the original ticket. And I had like I did the whole thing. Boy, those are way different times. Well, Scott, thank you so much for coming on. And yeah, we'll go out how we always go out. I'm sure that we might talk after this, after I get it cut up, but I always say go Crew and then you say go Crew. All right, ready?
Let's do it.
Go Crew.
Go Crew.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go Cappies too.
Yeah, Cappies right now.
Yeah.
All right, see ya.
Let's catch you around.
Hey guys, thanks for having me again. And all that. I appreciate having the opportunity to do this. Unfortunately, I'm not coming with a good review. The Cappies lost a pretty bad loss at home to New York City FC 2 on Friday. It was a 5-2 game, and I was lucky enough to get to attend it, actually. Because we have a little baby, we had to walk in late, and we walked in at the 13th minute mark, and New York City was already leading by 2 at that point. So I'm not really sure what happened there, but what I can tell you is that overall we just had really bad defensive efforts. Just not good. The defensive line was just not clicking. If you just see, we had 66% of possession versus their 34%. We had 19 shorts versus their 10. They had 5 shots on target. All 5 shots became goals. So they scored first, and I've said before that the team that scores first in Crew 2 games usually ends up winning, and that was true here as well. I think that Laurent Courtois did make good changes at the end of it. He did on the halftime. He put in a new kid from the academy, T. Brown, and that was really cool to see him. He is 15 years old, and he entered in the left wing, and he was really good. He had 22 passes. He had 100%. 100% pass completion, so good passing, good dribbling. I'm really excited. I hadn't heard about him before, so that is cool. And I think that the best part of the game, honestly, was being able to attend in person. It was only my second Crew 2 game, and seeing how good of a culture it has been created around this team. Even if the team wasn't doing well, people are still being positive. People understand that we're here to support these young players who are developing their skills, who could be great in the future for the crew. And of course, I can't not speak of at the end of the game when the players came to see us. And again, they're so kind to do it. They could see how disappointed they were with the results. But Marco Micheletto, our captain, was so generous and so gracious to give my little daughter, my 11-week-old daughter, an autograph on her crew onesie. And while people saying, "Sign the baby, sign the baby, sign the baby." So that's a core memory for me, something that I'm going to remember for a while. And I hope to make 2 more crew games, hopefully with my daughter a hand as well, and that the result will be better. All right, we'll go on preparing for the playoffs. I'm still pretty confident that we can make all the way in, and hopefully, if we do get to go to the final, we'll be here in Denver, and I can go to cheer them on. All right, guys, bye-bye.
All right, we're back. Before we go, I do just want to run through our predictions real quick. I know LaMacchia said 3-1, but God, and Haas said, of course, because he was getting his brownie points while we were talking to him, that he also guessed 3-1, but I don't remember what anyone else guessed. So, Mort, why don't you run through the predictions that we did last week for the Orlando game coming up next week? Remind us of the standings, because I'll always take an update on the standings. And then we'll get out of here and look forward to the Orlando game this weekend.
Yeah, I guess I can do both of them. I guess I'm taking Haas' job a little bit this week then in that case. But when it comes to prediction, like we mentioned, Haas had us winning 3-1 away to Orlando. Trey had us winning 2-1.
Mm-hmm.
Ben, was going for a tie, 2-2 tie. I was actually in copied Trey with 2-1, and Mars, you believing in our defense, and had us winning 2-0.
Oh yes,
so
the Haas winner. Ever since Haas got it, now it's like I feel like
I would say
now that he's gone away from it, I should go to that,
claim it.
Also, strategically, I feel like betting against what Ben called a tie. I've got to go with a win.
Yeah, and I mean, I went against us last week. I'm very happy when I'm wrong. I would mention that again. Very happy when I go against crew. I feel like I'm. It's a good loss to have.
Yeah.
As usual, that means our average expected score is 2-1, which is almost every week. The average is about 2-1. Columbus Crew. When it comes to standing, Haas, you want to take it, or I can just knock that out? All right. So the standing then in the East is, of course, we know the team down south there, Cincinnati, on top with 57 points. Columbus, we are 12 points behind, but we're only 3 points behind New England Revolution in second place. And Orlando, that we're going to play next, is in third place, meaning that a victory there will actually flip us. So we will at least take one spot further up there and be on a fourth place with a victory. Right ahead of us is Philly, who we are always also playing in the lead up to the end of the season.
At home, right?
That is
I think we were there on the first game.
Yes. So that will be home.
We played that at home. Yes, that is correct. We also have, of course, Atlanta coming up as well, which is right behind us at the moment. I don't know what the point situation is, but I think here with a win or two here, I think we obviously have solidified our playoffs.
Yeah. What about our standings? That's what I want to hear.
I didn't know. I thought you were talking about.
It's great. No, it's good.
Okay,
it's good.
No, that's fine. Maybe I don't want to talk about it. But hey, in top of the table, like we talked about, a new record is Ben and Mars with 19 points. Trey is actually I'm still number 2. Is that right? And then Trey with 13 points, and then Haas with 12 points. But there is a gap from you guys down to me on the second place with 14 points.
Excellent. Wanted to make sure we got that in there. So something else that we talked a little bit about off air, but like, what do you guys think? Is there a chance that the Miami Leo Messis make the playoffs? Like, has anyone crunched these numbers? I started reading some article about like how, everything's kind of stacked against them on making the playoffs, but is there a way that they make it in? And then if they do, they're gonna play Cincy again in Cincy? Is that how that shakes out?
I heard a couple of different predictions on that, and obviously they're second to last, but 28 points. They have played less games than most of the teams, and it's only 6 points up to DC United. A lot of people think they will go in and they don't even have to play that play-in game, that they will actually go directly
jump to the 7th spot.
Yeah, and the way they're playing right now, I wouldn't put my money.
I guarantee the numbers have been crunched, and they're on MLSsoccer.com, because that's all they talk about on there is Miami.
Right. Yeah, I'm pretty offline, so maybe I shouldn't be the one asking the question, but
yeah,
and MLS would love to have.
For sure. The fact that they have 2 games in hand right now makes a big difference as well.
And they gave him, they gave him that Leagues Cup trophy as well. Just as I think that was part of the contract.
Catch up with DC.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let's. It's an off week. Let's get out of here. Looking forward to the Orlando matchup. We've got one at home after that. Is it Wednesday against Chicago?
Yep.
Who is trying to set a record for most consecutive losses or something. So. That should be a good one. And then I think we've got another 8 or 9 matches.
7 total matches, including Orlando.
Oh, okay. Great. All right. Well, looking good. We'll catch up next week. And until then, go Crew. Go Crew. I don't know what Ben does.
Thanks, everyone, for joining the club. We hope you'll listen next week and every week, even in the off-season, to celebrate or commiserate. We'll save you a seat. If you like this podcast, please give us 5 stars and subscribe. You can email us at upper90clubpod@gmail.com. That's upper90clubpod@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at upper90clubpod. Go Crew!
Just rolls off the tongue.
Really, whoa. No, I didn't say that
it's
one.
Getting worse. It's getting worse.
It's getting so much worse.